and they're also fixated, like for the schedules and all, right? They'll call me on WhatsApp or they'll message me like why there was no class.
They're like, I'm really angry at you, ma'am. You're late today.
Hi guys, I'm Priyam from Fohimus. Welcome back to another video on our channel. First of all, I'm really sorry guys, I haven't been uploading any videos lately. I have been occupied in many other work, and I also had some issues with my phone. I had to buy my new phone, so I had to take a break. And because of the break, I got a bit lazy to record the videos and upload it. But today we have a very special guest on our channel, Mrs. Tina Sudhir. She is here to talk on autism and ADHD. She is an expert. She deals with autistic and ADHD kids on a daily basis. She prepares a curriculum for them, a special curriculum for them. And so we have her on the show. And guys, don't mind the quality of the video during the session because I use my laptop and its camera, so quality is a bit compromised. But guys, stick with the session because the information and insights that we provide are going to be really useful for you guys if you happen to have any autistic individual in your life, or you yourself are autistic. And because most of us are not parents yet, but we will be, therefore guys, stick with the video. Go grab some a cup of coffee or tea or water and enjoy the session. I'll see you at the end of the session. Bye bye.
All right, okay. So Tina, welcome back to For Humans. And I have been waiting for this interview quite for a long time. So it's good to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Priyam. Thank you for this opportunity.
So tell our audience about little bit about your work.
Yeah, I have a psychology background, master's in psychology, and I work as a special educator. So I come in with 5+ years of experience in teaching kids with intellectual disabilities and some developmental delays. So that's what I do.
So like
so I do help them with their curriculum. So most of my kids, they are into this NIOS curriculum, so which is actually very easier for kids with intellectual disability to follow and complete their schooling. Okay, and I do have some kids from
what is this NIOS curriculum?
This is called as National Institute of Open Schooling, which caters to 9th, that is senior grade, and senior secondary grades. Okay. So they do also have programs which starts from elementary school level, that is from class 3 also. But currently, like I have kids who are in their senior grades and senior secondary grades. And I have kids in elementary level. I do tutor kids with elementary level, but they come from the mainstream background. Yeah.
So like what is the age range of kids that you deal with?
From class 5 onwards till class 12.
Okay. So Tina, I have one question for you. Let's say if there was no such thing as ADHD or autism, then what would you be doing?
I would be a school counselor, probably.
School counselor. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or I would be I'm more interested in counseling kids and adolescents rather than adults. But I do now counsel adults for anxiety, anger management too. Yeah.
Okay. So let's provide our audience with a little bit information and knowledge about autism and ADHD, what it is and how it affects people and how it affects their social life and other dimensions of their life.
Yeah. So I'll be walking you through what is autism, what is autism, and causes, what are some misconceptions which is there, existing misconceptions, and then what is the diagnosis, the screening, little bit on intervention, and also the comorbidities, what along with autism, what are there, and how it is always misdiagnosed with ADHD.
Okay, so you're saying that
some light on ADHD too.
So you're saying more often autism is misdiagnosed as ADHD.
ADHD is actually misdiagnosed as autism.
Oh, that is interesting.
Because yes. There is actually there's actually an interchange of this. Some kids who are on ADHD, they say like they are autistic. Yeah, because there are some these features which is common to both.
So you're saying they have some common symptoms, so people often
Yes,
confuse
yes,
themselves.
some
Okay.
characteristic features are common to both.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm excited about your presentation. So let's go ahead, Tina, share your presentation with
Sure.
us.
Yeah. So is it? Can you see my
Yeah,
screen?
I can
Is
see
it
your
visible?
screen. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So welcome to this small talk on autism.
Yeah, I like your
So
title
what
there.
is autism?
Special,
Let's be.
special
Yeah, it's okay
educator.
to be. Thank you.
All right then. Let's start with what is autism.
Yeah. Yeah, autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder
Okay.
which is known to affect three core areas: social interaction, communication, repetitive behavior, and restricted interests. As if you
Okay.
see, when you say social interaction, like kids or individuals who have been diagnosed with autism, so they have deficits in understanding and maintaining uh, relationships, like social relationship with
Mhm.
their peers or with their loved ones or with the caregivers and all. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So communication is they struggle with language development, and so getting words or interacting with people and taking cues of non-verbal communication, all these will be the deficit for them. And they have some repetitive fine motor movements and gross motor movements, and like flapping of hands and and then some fixation towards schedules.
What
Like
is
some of my
the
students, right?
what is this? What did you say that flying motor movements? What are those?
See, when you take movements like muscle movements, we have fine
Yeah.
motor muscles and gross motor, right?
Okay.
So gross motor muscles are involved in larger movements like walking, skipping, and all. Fine motor is for grasping things, for writing and all. So there'll be
Okay.
some repetitive motor movements, hence in individuals diagnosed with this autism. So
Also,
like
maybe they're doing
flapping on
something
fans.
with their hands
Yeah, they just
constantly.
keep circling their hands, something like this. So
Okay.
those kinds of movements,
Yeah,
flapping
yeah. I
of
see.
hands
I
and all
see.
this, right?
Okay.
Yeah, they just keep doing the same action. Like if they're putting something into dropping something into a cup or so, they keep repeating the same action over and
Okay.
over
So
again.
this is one thing that
Over
parents
again.
can take notice of and
Mm.
see if their child is.
Yeah, there are early signs of diagnosis also which parents can notice. But today, if you see in our Indian scenario, autism is actually diagnosed very late. So intervention is also late. That is why it just becomes difficult to
Yeah.
bring down the impact of the impairments.
I don't think autism
Yes.
even exists in the vocabulary of most parents.
Yes, it's still a stigma. They don't accept that their kids have a disability itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Itself. That's what they see it as a illness, not as a condition.
Yeah, yeah, I see.
That's that's the
Maybe
problem.
all the disorders are just different orders.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. All right, all right. Yeah, okay.
Okay. And there are some, and they also acquire some restricted interest. So they have some, they show interest towards some objects, and they exhibit it for prolonged time. They can just sit with one toy for a long and play with it for a longer duration.
Also, you saying
Even
that they
that is
develop
observed.
attachment with
Yes.
it?
Yes, so like, and they're also fixated, like for the schedules and all, right? They're very inflexible to the schedules. Schedules. Yeah,
Okay.
like I have students who, like, when I say 4 o'clock will be the class, at prompt 3:59, I'll get an alert that they have logged in, they have just joined the Zoom.
Is
My
it 4
Zoom
o'clock
class.
in the morning or the afternoon?
Evenings. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's
even like, yeah, they're
4
then like
o'clock
they
in the
never
morning would be
late.
really cruel to students.
Yeah, never. All my classes start from 10 a.m. in the morning
All
only.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So they never late for the class, and they don't like changing schedules.
Uh-huh.
Schedules. Yeah. So they get really disturbed when it comes to sudden change of plans and all.
So do they
Yeah,
get
so
like irritated or angry also?
not irritated and angry, their way of expression is quite different. So they'll call me on WhatsApp, or they'll message me, or
Yeah.
I also get audio messages like why there was no class, as why
Yeah.
was it changed.
They're like, I'm
Yeah,
really
so
angry at you, ma'am. You're late today.
they see, the problem is they never know to express it like
Oh,
directly. Anger is
I
not
see.
expressed like anger. It comes out
Hmm.
in a very different way for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
like
Either they don't like.
they won't be raising their voice if they're angry.
No, no. They show aggression also. They shout. They hit. There are kids who show aggression in a very violent way. They become self-injurious too.
I
Yeah.
see.
Then yeah. So when that all this comes with exhaustion, like when they are oversensitized or stimulated, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That time it's thrown up in this way. Yeah.
So this was all about
Aggression.
autism.
Yes, this is about. So, as I said, early intervention is better. See, there is no cure for autism. A
Okay.
child born with autism will be autistic throughout the life. But
Hmm.
it can be reduced. The impairments can be reduced, or there can be some improvement when there is an early intervention provided to these kids. It, usually, if you see, these signs can be seen right from 12 months onwards. It's even at the infancy stage itself. The problem in Indian scenario is, right, most of the parents, we don't do developmental screening for the kids. Right
I
now, there
see.
is awareness, yes, but in Western countries and all, they do developmental screening and they do check if they are meeting the milestones. There are developmental milestones, right? Standard
Hmm.
developmental milestones. So they do check if they are meeting, it's on par with the developmental milestones. So here we think, okay, it's okay, like it's okay for my child to talk late.
Hmm.
And I also feel environment also is one of the factor. Earlier days and all, there was this joint family system, right?
Yeah.
We had like the elders will be there, the
Yeah, yeah.
grandparents will be there, who would very quickly recognize eyes and tell, okay, there is some problem in the child.
Yeah, there's
Child
something
is not
wrong.
interacting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but today with this nuclear
He
family
might grow up to
system,
be a serial killer, you know.
not maybe, but something, any slight change
Yeah,
in
yeah.
their personality is also very quickly noticed. But in today's nuclear family system, both the parents are busy in their career. Yeah, so
Hmm.
the attention to the child is like, I don't say it's totally null, but the attachment is not that strong.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can't blame the parents also for that
Hmm.
matter. But with only very limited people around them, they talk very lately. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the speech development is late, and they
Hmm.
feel that it's because only we are interacting and all this. So all this leads to late diagnosis of autism.
So I have this one question, Tina. If you have
Yeah.
observed it, so do we can we say that, like, do the stats say that there are a lot more autistic and ADHD cases as compared to the 19th century or 18th century? Do we have any such data?
I have no, sorry, I don't have any such data. But I think yes, it would be there because if you see, the awareness has increased now, right, compared to the 19th century and all. So
Hmm.
at least now parents are little bit coming forward and accepting. Okay, my child has this disability, so I
Hmm.
would make arrangements for my child, like how he or she can cope up with these disabilities,
Hmm.
right? At least that awareness is there. Yeah, so they
Okay.
do come out for, and even in now schools also they have the screening techniques developed and all. Assessments are done when a child is enrolled into a school. So I think somewhere the diagnosis is done. Yeah,
So, like,
compared to the 19th.
can we say that lack of physical activity can work as a catalyst for autism or ADHD?
See,
If
physical activity is one way, like where you can calm down the child.
Mhm.
And if you feel the child is become very aggressive or something, you can get the child, get them on a trampoline, and make them jump, where they're able to exhaust whatever emotions are pent up inside. Right? So that is one thing. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
I wouldn't say that physical activity would be the main thing. Yeah. But some behavioral modification also play a role here. Yeah.
Okay. So let's have something on ADHD then, like how
Yeah, like
ADHD
we
is
would first
different
see
and
what the
yeah.
causes of autism would be. See, it's actually multifactorial because it's a neurodevelopmental disability, right? Right. So it is, till today there is no research has said that this is the main reason.
For
They've not
autism.
pinpointed to one such reason to autism, but there are some. They say that there are some genetic factors. There are some environmental factors which will lead to autism. Some like as I said, in the nuclear family system where the parents are working, both the mother and the father, the child is not given a proper attachment, right? It does
Okay.
not get a proper attachment, so the child goes unnoticed whatever the child is undergoing. So that is one of the reason. And maternal thing, so the stress faced by the mother during pregnancy, I see. And some medications taken by the mother, like Valium is one such medication. If a mother has been on this medicine during her pregnancy, there are high chances that she'll give birth to an
What is
autistic.
Valium?
It's used for seizures and all. Valium.
Okay,
Valium.
okay.
Okay, and then some pregnancy ailments and the age of the mother during pregnancy also. So
Yeah,
women who
yeah.
conceive after 40, right? So there are high chances that the child born on might be diagnosed with autism. So, yeah,
I think
premature
I
birth.
was reading somewhere that like if a woman gives birth to a child before she is 30 years of age, then
Ah,
there is less chances of any sort of physical or mental disability. And if she gives birth after
yeah.
30 years of age, then chances probability increases of all sorts of disabilities
Yes.
and disorders.
Yeah. They do. Yeah. There are researches which do state that this.
So
Yeah.
that is why I
Mother's
think
pregnancy age is one is
that's
one
why
of
people
the
put
reasons.
pressure
Yeah.
on women, get a baby before you get
Yeah.
old.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot of societal pressure on this, right? Yeah.
yeah, that could be quite frustrating for women as well.
True.
Yeah.
Lot of obstacles for in our career.
Yeah, I
I
see
would
that.
say that. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are some misconceptions about autism. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so one is like autism is a childhood condition.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not a childhood condition. It's not that after that stage of childhood, it will be cured or not. So, once a child is born with autism, he or she lives with autism throughout their life. Right.
Okay.
Okay, and there is like, and even adults, it's not only children like who are diagnosed, even adults can be diagnosed with autism.
Mm-hmm.
Autism, yeah, and only boys can be autistic. That is also one misconception.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
but
have
there are
a
researches
friend.
that the number of boys to girls ratio, boys are more,
Yeah, okay.
but even girls are diagnosed with autism. It's not only boys. Guys.
So let's
Then
go ahead.
autism is a mental illness. That is also a misconception. It's not a mental illness. It's just a condition. But there's no cure for it. That's known. But it can be this impairments can be improved. Yeah, it can be better for them. Yeah. When if they are
Okay.
early, yeah, if they given intervention in earlier stages. Yes.
So what are
Then all
what are the things that we provide during intervention that helps kids to
yeah, I would be coming to that. Yeah,
okay, okay.
what are the treatment available for them and
Uh-huh.
how the treatment is categorized and all, right? I would be coming to that also.
All right, all
And
right.
they say that some say there's a look to autism. What is this look to autism? How do they look? No, they look like normal individuals, like normal human beings only. They're not
Yeah.
any Down syndrome or anything, right? So they look like it's not a Down syndrome. It's just as that the brain is wired in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's it. That's what is autism. It's not that they look different. There's no look to autism. Because I have some people asking questions like when we say that individual is not autistic, oh, how does he look? No, he looks normal. He's a normal individual. He's a
Yeah.
normal human being. Yeah. Okay.
He
And
looks.
all autistics are savants. So no, not all autistics are savants. Savants are also autistic, but that actually this statement it put pressures on the autism because or savant is a mental condition where they excel in one of their skills.
Where they excel.
Yeah,
Okay.
so recently there was this season on Amazon. Did you watch it?
Which
It's
one?
called Good Doctor. The Good Doctor.
No, I didn't watch it.
It's a very good series. Is this boy, this Doctor Sean, and that season in that series, right?
Yeah.
He has a savant. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So is it a very
Yeah,
long series or a short one that I can watch it in
there are
2 3
a
days?
lot of seasons in it. Season 4 is the current running. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So this statement actually, like all autistics or savants, it actually put pressures to them, pressures on the autistic individuals to perform much better because savants, right, they excel in one particular skill.
I see.
Yeah. They're very excellent on that. And if you see the types of autism, there is this manual DSM, which is called as Diagnostic Statistical Manual, which is for mental disorders. Yes, okay. So they in this manual they've listed all the mental disorders as what are the characteristics for these, what are the symptoms for these mental disorders, and what are the diagnostic features like and what age and for how long should that be persistent, that condition should be persistent in an individual so that that individual can be categorized under that disorder. Yeah. So all these information are provided. It's like a bible for mental disorders. It's like how for other illness like communicable disease and non-communicable disease and all, like we have this CCD, right? So it's for the mental health we have this DSM.
Okay.
Yeah,
What was the name
it's
again?
like, so it's been approved by the American DSM. It's
Okay.
called DSM. It is Diagnostic Statistical Manual.
All right.
So DSM has categorized 3 levels of autism. That is level 1, level 2, and level 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So level 1 is where they do need support, right? But they can read, write it, and they can also live independently. They can carry out some of the ADL skills independently.
Okay.
But level 2, they need substantial support, right? And level 3 is where they need very substantial support.
I see.
So I tell that IQ level would be very low, somewhere around 30 or something in level 3.
Okay. What is the
Yeah, so
lowest
for
IQ till today in records of any individual?
30, I think it is 30.
And
Yeah.
is this individual still alive?
I don't.
Like
Yes, okay, but if you see level 3 Emma says kids with mentally retarded children and all, they are alive only, right?
yeah,
Only thing is they would need support for everything. Yeah, to do every
so
activity.
they must also be lacking in physical abilities.
Yeah, there will be developmental delays also in them. Yeah.
I see. All
Yes,
right.
we can see developmental delays too. So these are, and these are the types which is being put forth by this given by DSM. But there are some like informal terms available, like which is not recognized by the medical thing, like high functioning autism, low functioning autism, and all this, right? So high functioning autism is like where they can read, write, and they can live independently. They do have little of the social, but they do lack little of the social skills too. So like communication, like and low functioning autism is where they have problem with comprehension, reading, writing. They do have intellectual disability, and they do need substantial support or for their daily activities and all. So that's the low functioning. And there's another term which is called broader autism phenotype. It is BAP.
Yeah.
So that is a little autistic. So we can call them as little autistic. So it is so the medical research says like adults who are broader autistic, that is who have this BAP,
Yeah.
are more likely to give birth to children and who would develop who are like autistic individuals.
Okay. Okay. I will
That's
have
it.
to get
So
myself
how
diagnosed first, producing a child before.
there
Yeah.
is a scale, there's a scale for assessing this. It's called
Uh-huh.
social responsive scale. There's social responsiveness scale. So there are
Hmm.
ratings
Hmm.
provided in that scale, and there's a set of questionnaire asked. These are this like some of those are like I like being around people, and so on what scale do you like being around people, and
Yeah.
I find it difficult or I find it hard to get words out to communicate with somebody, and
Okay.
I'm okay with sudden changes in the plan,
Okay.
and so on what scale are you okay with these
Hmm.
changes
So the
changes in
less
the
okay
plan.
you are, the more chances of autism.
So when you and then this after rating, it's compared with the norm,
Hmm.
and then it can be diagnosed whether that individual, that adult is broader autistic phenotype or not. Yeah,
I see. I
that is
see.
that's called social responsiveness scale. Yeah. So that is
Okay. So the comfortable individual is in social activities,
yeah,
he's more likely
yes.
normal
Yeah.
and fit to
Then
go.
coming to the
Yeah.
screening thing,
Hmm.
so DSM as this DSM has categories like there are two domains in which is like these are the characteristic features or the symptoms like the
Hmm.
repetitive and restrictive behaviors, social deficits, aids, and communication deficits, aids, and all.
Hmm.
And there is a set like even in a home environment, and like the parent itself can screen the child like with these set of questions like is the child having trouble with establishing intimacy and warmth with the caregiver
Hmm.
or with the mother, father, other,
Hmm.
or does the child communicate with gestures and emotional expressions, or is the
Hmm.
child not even be able to show any emotional expressions on the face,
I
or
see.
like yeah, when the child begins using words, does he use them meaningfully? He- so if yeah,
Okay.
so with all these set of questions, a parent can screen in whether the child is on the scale of autism, and
Hmm.
further they can approach a developmental psychologist or a pediatrician or a psychiatrist to know whether the child is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That would be really helpful for the parents now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's
So.
say that if they have, concluded that their child might be
Mm.
autistic,
Yeah,
or
if you have a hint that the child might be autistic, and the signs of autism or like this autism also varies with the age.
hmm,
If you see in infants ants,
yeah,
okay, so or in like or like in from when a child, so 0 to like in the toddler stage also. So when
yeah,
in 6 months, when a child does not give eye contact, usually a 6 month baby will give eye contact, right?
in 6 months.
Yeah, yeah, a 6 month baby will give you eye contact, right? And they'll
Okay,
start babbling, cooing. In
okay.
when you see there are delays, so by 12 months, if the child does not babble or coo,
Babel
so
means
yeah, uh, they do make some sounds. No, these infants like
okay,
something
okay.
cooing and all, like yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, those sounds. If you see that the infant does not make these
Hmm.
sound even like when they are nearing 12,
Hmm.
and yeah, and then there's no eye contact. They don't provide eye contact, or
Hmm.
they don't respond to the name.
Hmm.
Usually they respond to name when the 8 months and all. When we call them, the child will that infant will turn around and see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so when you see that it does not respond. Okay, these are the very early signs. See, but there will be some developmental delays also. You can't conclude that it will be autistic, but these are some signs that a parent can notice.
Yeah.
Notice, or like, yeah. Then in early childhood, when they use only they don't use monosyllable words, or they don't use phrases. Is like a 2-year child's that language development would be like they would have learned many words by then, and the child will say, "I want a glass of water."
Yeah.
Water. I'm a boy. This is my favorite color. This is my toy. So that's such phrases they will be making, right? So when
At
the
what
child
age?
is not, so by if you see by 2 years and all, they would be telling this.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So when there is a delay in that, okay. So they can notice is this, and they will be having then in an older child, in older children, they will have difficulty in maintaining in eye contact. Like they
Yeah.
will so they'll really struggle with making eye contact, and then because it's very tiring for them, because their world works with visual images. So once they enter into a room full of people, they would be screening for the visual things and all. So when you ask them to make eye contact, no, it's really exhausting for them.
They would be screening for visuals like what?
All visuals, like how this person looks, any cues, visual cues and all, right? Yeah, so it's like that. So for them, giving an eye contact while talking is very difficult,
Because they want to keep screening everything.
yes, yeah.
Is it more
And
likely
then
analyzing and coming to conclusions about things?
yes, yeah. So it's all about visual. Their world is full of visual cues and all. And then they would not like to be. So some kids, it's like they'll be oversensitive. Some will be undersensitive, like hypersensitive and hyposensitive. They don't even like to sit. Somebody, even when they're walking and somebody even brushes them, they don't like that. They don't like to be hugged. They don't like to sit on mother's lap. They don't like anybody touching them.
Why don't they like it?
Yeah.
Like, is it that?
That's because they're very hypersensitive. They don't. The sensory thing is very. Its stimulation is a very crucial thing for them. Yeah. They don't like to be touched. Some will be hyposensitive also. They won't even feel ill. They'll have unusual sensory activation. Like they go lick the wall.
They lick
wall
the
and
wall,
all, right? Yes, they lick the wall. They taste unusual stuff. Yeah, and all.
so
It's
like
all
if
because
a
of
kid is enjoying eating mud, then
it's
he
all,
might be.
yes, yeah. So, but there are other childhood conditions also. So you have to rule out all that before concluding that the child is.
So you're saying that these kids have very less attention span, right?
Attention span will come for ADHD.
Okay.
These kids, they can be focused over a prolonged period to one particular object.
Okay, that they like.
Yeah, that they
Other
like.
things
Okay?
we
Have
don't
this
exist for them, right?
same food. See, they love to eat the same food every day.
Okay.
So we won't like to eat same food, right? They love to eat
Yeah.
same food every day. So that with the food they love to eat. So
So
like I
basically
have a student who always
they are
tells
very
me,
selective in terms of their sensations they want to feel.
yes, yeah. So
Okay.
some many parents, they do tell these are some of the common FAQs use, like the parents come with. Okay, the child does not know to chew.
Does not know to chew.
So yes, they don't. Yeah, they won't know how to chew their food and all, and they swallow it.
But this must be
so
like
there
in
are these
age of 2 to 3 years, right?
2 to 3 years, it's in that age only. So after, like, even when they are 4 years and all, they'll find it difficult to chew.
Okay.
They'll have difficulty chewing, and so this is all because of the sensory integration, because of deficits in sensory integration. So an occupational therapist will be able to correct these. So they will. There is something called as mirror therapy, where they ask the parent to make the child sit in front of the mirror and show them how the chewing works. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So these are there. here, and then some kids know they spit. They have this habit of spitting.
Okay.
Spitting. Yeah. So any behavior. See, either it is behavioral or sensory. Three. It is two. So in this, spitting is a behavioral issue, right? Yeah, it's a behavioral.
Yeah.
So some kids, they do it just to gain attention, or it's a way of showing their anger, frustration,
Yeah.
or just for the fun of it they do it. Or if you feel that they're just doing for the fun of it and all, just you can make them clean that place and tell them, no, this is not appropriate. Give them time out. Out, and then if you feel that it is they're expressing their anger or frustration or any other type of emotion, that's how they. So you can tell them, you can use these words instead. Give them an alternative solution how they can express it instead of spitting. And when they do it in the right way, when they express their emotions in the right way, reward them. So they would know this is the right behavior. So this spitting is not this. So it's not going to.
So you have to tame them.
Me the reward. Yes. So this is all behavioral modifications. So where you can bring. So you have to find out. See, anything you see, it is always ABC model. We call them as ABC model.
What is ABC model?
So A is antecedent, that is the trigger. What was the trigger?
Yeah,
the behavior and what is the consequence. So if you go through this, if you follow this ABC model, then you can bring in these behavioral changes in the child. Right?
All right.
And some kids, what they do is, as soon as they come into the classroom environment, they start removing their shirts.
They start removing their shirts.
Yeah, they undress. Yeah, they undress because
why?
Yeah, that's a behavioral issue where they feel very comfortable in that. See, they would have seen like parents who come into the house, the father. Once the father steps inside the house in the room, he changes, he undresses himself and like so the child or the mother would have told like, you have come to the house, now you have to be in a comfortable. So might be that was a comfortable place for the child. Right? So you need to
do you have
students
who do that?
No. I now take online classes, so we don't have. But I do it when I was taking physical offline classes. I did have a student who had the spitting issue.
Okay.
So
all
was
the way
to the class,
like was that spitting out of habit, like more likely, like.
See, as I said, right? It's a behavioral thing. Okay. So either he is not liking to come and sit in the class, so he dislikes some of things like which is happening in the class. Might be it was this, or is the frustration or the anger which he couldn't tell the mother, I don't want to go today to class.
Yeah.
So he was not able to express it. So that was the reason. Yeah.
So like
it's very difficult. So they have this
kids more likely
they are
funny and adorable too.
Yeah.
Especially the young ones. The age of 3 to 5. When they are doing certain things, watching them would be really amusing sometimes, All right. So
that is the problem. So that time we don't diagnose it as, or we don't think that, oh yeah, it's very too small. So this will be he will overcome this behavior.
Yeah.
So when the same thing is repeated when the child is 10 year or 11 year, when he's 10 year or 11 years, then that is an inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, then it's not likable,
Yeah.
Then we give punishment.
And so with any child, like with any behavior, I would say just find what the trigger is.
I see.
Yeah. So when you know what the trigger is, you know why the behavior was.
And that will involve observation and
so then you can
interaction
change.
with them.
Yeah, you can change how the consequences can be also. Yeah.
All right. So moving on
and they will have most of the autistic individuals. They'll have meltdowns. Meltdowns. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does a meltdown look like, or maybe what kind of experience
like
is that?
Crying.
Oh,
it's like crying. And it is like they have this internal or external laws of control. Okay. So See, they can't take in lot of sound also. They are very sensitive to sound.
Okay.
If it is too loud and all, and
Mhm.
like I had there was a student who literally cried then when there was a birthday song sang for another student in the class. Right.
Really?
So he couldn't take up. Yeah, yes. He was so excited when he saw the cake, when he saw the other eatables and all. All he
Yeah.
was so excited. But the moment the birthday song started, it just started because he couldn't. He just lost the control. Control. Well, he couldn't take
Okay.
up that sound. Yeah. So
So was
they're
it just
very
because
sensitive
of
to
the
sound.
loudness and amplitude
Sound.
of
Yes.
the sound, or
Yes.
was it
Loudness.
some sort of a emotional trigger for him?
No. It's no emotional trigger. It was because of this outness of the sound itself. So they are very sensitive to sound.
Uh-huh.
Some individuals are very autistic individuals sensitive. So you have these earphones for them. Where it cuts down the level of the amplification of the sound.
Okay. So we
Yeah. So
have
there are
a
earphones.
special
Yeah,
type of
available in the
earphones
market.
for them. Okay.
Yeah, and there are also some soothing musics which is there.
Hmm.
There is there's music therapy also available for autism. So even in in the background, right, when you're taking the class, if you play these soothing musics, it keeps them
Okay.
calm in the environment. And all these are also available for them. And there's this, you can see the stimming. Stimming is one type of response, where there is repetitive actions using one of the five senses. Just like some people, they keep shaking their legs when
Yeah.
they're sitting. Have you noticed? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
stimming activity. Yeah, that is to just to bring down. They're calming down themselves.
Okay. Okay. I
Yeah.
see.
And there is shutdown also. You can notice shutdown where they totally withdraw.
And for example,
Um, you won't get any response from them. They that particular class, they won't respond to you. They won't read. They won't do any of the activities which they were doing. So they just totally withdraw from everything. Everything.
okay, I see.
Yeah, it's complete withdrawal. Complete withdrawal. And there is burnout also. Burnout is like the way they feel exhausted. Burnout comes when they try to mask these features, when they try to
Yes.
portray themselves as normal. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
burnout usually it is observed in high functioning autism because
Uh-huh.
high functioning autism, they can interact to some level, and also when they try to become socially interactive with people and all,
Hmm.
which is actually not their trait,
Yeah. Yeah. It's very
right?
exhausting for them.
So it's very exhausting. Yeah,
Yeah.
they will have burnouts. Yeah, they experience this burnout.
And how long this burnout lasts on average?
Uh, I'm not sure about this.
Maybe
Usually,
it depends
it
on
will go anywhere
individuals.
for, yes, yeah, it depends. Yeah, it
All
depends
right.
on
All
the
right.
individuals. Yeah.
This has been very interesting and intriguing interaction till now. You know.
Yeah. And some of the comorbid conditions with ASD, okay, we call them as autism spectrum disorder. Yeah,
Mhm.
because there are like in DSM, there are three other things which is being categorized along with this. One is Asperger's, yes.
Mhm.
Then we have autism, and then we have
Mhm.
pervasive developmental disorder, otherwise not specified. It is called PDDs. Okay, all three come under this broader umbrella term, which is autism spectrum disorder. Yeah.
Okay.
AS, ASD, we call them as. So intellectual disability, the language disorder, ADHD, anxiety, then ODD, which is oppositional deficient disorder, disruptive behavior disorder, tic disorder. All these are some of the comorbid conditions with ASD. Okay. And the
Okay.
most common one is ADHD, anxiety, the intellectual disability, the
Uh-huh.
language disorder. All these are the most common ones. And
Okay.
yeah, okay. So if you see ASD and ADHD, okay.
Mhm.
So ADHD is it's a neurobiological self-regulation disability, okay, which is being characterized with problems in attention span and
Uh-huh.
and they have problems with sustaining attention, and
Yeah.
they're highly active, if they can be easily distracted, impulsive,
Okay.
okay, and they have working memory issues. So then if you see this diagnosis age for autism, it is 3 years. Yes. You can diagnose when a child is 3 years itself that the child is autistic or not. There are
Okay.
a lot of rating scales available.
Okay.
Okay, so you can use one of the you take the child to a developmental psychologist or something. Like they will be able to screen and tell whether child is autistic. But for ADHD, the diagnosis age is 7 years.
7 years.
Yes,
Okay.
7 years.
Basically,
Yeah, for
when all
ADHD.
of his motors and senses are developed.
When the child is in the elementary school level.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so that is when, yeah. And like if you see the symptoms, okay,
Mhm.
uh, easily being easily distracted, that is there in ADHD, but it is not there in autism.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And unresponsiveness to common stimuli. In kids with ADHD, this symptom is not there, but with ASD, you can find this. With autistic this is one of the autistic symptom.
Okay.
Being unresponsive to common stimuli. Then avoiding eye contact.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that is one of the symptom for autism.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, then having like social like interrupting conversations or activities, that is a symptom for
ADHD.
ADHD, but not for
Yeah.
autism. Then
Okay.
talking non-stop. They
ADHD.
don't, that is ADHD.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then intense focus and concentration on a particular
Autism.
or a singular item. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
autism. That is not good. These kids, they
You're a good
ADHD
teacher,
kids
Tina.
cannot sit with.
See, I'm able to,
So,
answer them correctly now.
yeah.
All
So
right.
you're a good student too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Thank you.
withdrawal behaviors.
Okay.
Withdrawal behaviors, you see it them in autism, but not in ADHD.
Uh-huh.
ADHD. They don't have this withdrawal.
Because
Then
of the
delayed
exhaustion.
developmental stones. Yes, delayed developmental milestones. That is there in
Autism.
autism,
Yeah.
not in ADHD. Yeah. Yeah. So these are some of the symptoms with which you can tell like the child is
Mhm.
an ADHD kid or an autistic or an kid with autism, right? So these are some of the
Yeah.
things. And yeah, so there are some rating scales, as I said, like childhood autism rating scale. Then there is Indian scale for assessment of autism,
Mhm.
autism treatment evaluation checklist. Then
Mhm.
autism behavior checklist, that is autism
Mhm.
spectrum screening questionnaire. These are some
Mhm.
of the uh, common rating scales which are used for
Yeah.
or
I
autism.
think I think
Autism,
autistic
yeah,
people might have, like some real life challenges where people might think as if they are
yeah.
intentionally ignoring them, but in reality, just
No,
it's just their natural nature to
see,
process things.
that is not that. See, autistic child might not have any such difficulty, but I would say that a common individual, what they see is
Mhm.
the aggression, right?
Mhm.
Right? The child is not interacting properly.
Mhm.
All this is what common people. So what would people see when there is an autistic child in a room?
Mhm.
What would they be seeing? Is like they see there is meltdown in the child. There is a very fleeting attention,
Mhm.
and there is aggression in that child. But what the child is actually undergoing is the
Mhm.
child needs connection. Actually, the child needs to be understood first.
Okay.
Okay, and the child might be having sensory overload. No,
Okay. Yeah, sensory
yeah.
overload
So
is the big one.
yes, yeah. Okay. So all this is what the child is actually undergoing inside.
Yeah.
But what we see on the surface, it is totally different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We
yeah,
take it personally.
yeah. We actually judge the book by the cover, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, one more question, Tina. Like you said that they
Yeah.
need connection and their need is to be understood, right? So let's
Yeah.
say
Yes.
if someone has a child who is autistic, or maybe
Hmm.
we have few people who have someone as a friend who is autistic. So, like, what can they do to make sure that they're able to, make them feel
Mm.
understood, or they're able to provide them with that connection that they want?
See, when they come and talk to you, they might not talk relevant always. Okay.
Mhm.
I have students like who want to talk to me will just come and keep asking me some irrelevant questions.
Okay.
Questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I would ask like first when you have you have just come and you have started to, so just start with hi, how are you? How was
Mhm.
your day? Okay,
Mhm.
and all, you start the conversation.
So they don't
in that
have any
way.
social norms,
Yes, they don't have any social norms.
or is their way of talking is indirect way of talking, not direct?
It's not even indirect way. There would be some irrelevant topic, like they would say like I met this person,
Also, they just want to
and
initiate an
they just want
interaction,
to
and
strike a
that's why.
conversation with you.
Okay.
They just want to
Yeah.
strike a conversation with you. And
Okay.
they don't know how to even start a conversation. Okay, but they just want
Okay.
to strike a
So they
conversation
just
with you.
pass on the information that they just acquired. You know.
Yes,
All
yeah.
right. All right.
Yeah, and they're like very fixated with how things are also okay. Like they want the things to be in the same way only. It's not. It should not change its place and all this. Right? That is also there with them.
Oh, so will that come
Yeah,
into OCD, or will that also come into autism?
a little of thing is seen in even see OCD is also a comorbid condition for autism. So
Okay.
in autistic individual also you see this is
Comorbid
so
means
this
existing with
this one
autism.
student. Yeah, when he takes out when he keeps the book, right? If he's
Yeah.
not kept the book in the right place inside the bag, right, he would
Yeah.
take entire book outside and again arrange it,
Okay. Okay.
and then only leave the classroom.
All right.
Yeah. And coming to treatment and intervention services, there is actually no cure to. Currently, there is no treatment and
Mm-hmm.
available which is
Mm-hmm.
known to cure autism or cure ASD as such. Is it? But there are several intervention programs available, and these intervention programs it is broadly categorized into four. There's behavior and communication approaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, like applied behavior analysis (ABA), we
Hmm.
call them as ABA therapy, right? The ABA therapy. And there are dietary approaches also. So they say that you give them amino acid supplements, and
Yeah.
it'll help them is cut down the sugar level, give them
Yeah.
gluten-free diet. Okay, so there's some diet. These are some dietary approaches, and medications. There are some medications available for autism,
Mm-hmm.
which will bring down their anxiety level, their aggression level, and then occupational therapy is one.
Is that
Again,
medication? Does that medication include some sort of drugs?
it is it's English medicine and it's drugs. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and many like there is homeopathy also for autism, and it's the research has proven that there are some improvements shown. It's more
Homeopathy.
safer. Yeah, because there are no side effects.
Yeah.
So it's
I
much
would prefer
safer to
homeopathy
administer.
over drugs.
Yeah, there are homeopathic drugs. So many parents have asked like whether does homeopathy? Yes, homeopathy does work. There is
Yeah.
proven research for it.
Yeah. So
So that
guys,
homeopathy
wait a
falls
minute.
under alternative medicine. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, if you're viewer of For Humans, don't prefer English drugs. They're more harmful to you than good.
Yeah.
So let's go with the natural homeopathic. Or do we have any these mentionings of autism or ADHD in Ayurveda?
I am not sure. I think there are because that's why these people are coming out with drugs, right? As such as terminologies, I don't know. I'm not aware of that. But
I
there
think
are this.
Ayurveda must have covered everything, because they have covered most of
They
things.
would. I don't know whether they've covered autism as autism itself. That there'll be some neurological
Yeah.
disability or some neurodevelopmental delay condition or something, right? Something like that. They would have covered something like that. Yeah. So
Okay.
they have shown improved cognition, and all this. The results are there. Research has proven that homeopathy has shown some improvements in autistic individuals. It's
Okay.
with cognition, like thinking capacity and all those, right? Yeah. Yeah, and there are many therapies like yoga. Yeah,
Yes. And what
so
about
yeah,
so
yoga is
yoga
very
and
good.
pranayam?
Yeah, pranayama. When you teach them a little of breathing techniques, when you teach them a little of
Hmm.
mindfulness, grounding techniques, and all, right,
Hmm.
it does help them to calm. So when they are very aggressive,
Hmm.
yeah, so like when they're very aggressive or when they're when they show this impulsive behavior is there, right?
Hmm.
So to bring down that, you can like introduce yoga, breathing technique, some of
Hmm.
mindfulness or grounding techniques
So,
and
like
all.
from
And
what age can we expose our kids to yoga and pranayam?
yoga usually from 12 years onwards. That's what
12
they
years. Is there
say.
not like postures that we can have? 6 year of kid to start having practicing certain
There
easy
are now
postures.
in school like they are doing it, I think, but like I heard that from 12 years is the right age
I
for
see. I see.
yoga.
And what about pranayam?
I'm sorry if I'm wrong on this also.
Yeah.
See, they need to know how to regulate their breathing. See, when you say
Yeah.
pranayama, now they need to know what is inhalation, what is exhalation,
Yeah.
and
So
how
I think,
long you can hold the breath.
yeah.
Yeah, that control you need to get right on your thing on your
So I think
so that
minimum eight
needs
years,
yeah
probably.
8 years, yeah, 8 years we can start it, yeah, so that will
All
be.
right, all right.
I
So
think we have to the end.
do
Yeah.
we do you have anything else to share on autism and ADHD?
I think whatever knowledge I have, I do have shared. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
hope this is helpful
So
to
yeah, so like, is there
some
anything?
people.
Let's say if I'm a parent and I saw my 3-year-old that okay, he might be autistic, and if I want
Hmm.
to provide him with some treatments at home, let's say if I want to make sure that I provide him with some sort of interventions at home, is there
Yeah,
anything
so
that
there
we
are
can do?
some yes, yeah, you can, there are some sensory activities you can do.
Hmm.
3-year-old is like when the childhood starts schooling, right? So use this kinetic sand trace, ask them to give them molds, ask them to make molds of alphabets, molds of animals,
Shapes.
and give them color. Yeah, start with
Yeah.
teach them to differentiate from shapes, then
Hmm.
first go with colors, start
Yeah.
with colors, then come to
Visuals.
shapes, then come
Okay.
to features. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, so slowly go step by step. First start with colors, it's easy for them to know, then come to shapes.
Hmm.
See, if you say tell them, see, you're now sitting in this room,
Hmm.
this is pink color, now tell me what all objects are in pink around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that will be easy for the child to tell. Or when you're going out with the child, tell them spot 5 things which are pink in color, or spot 5 things which are orange in color. So the child
Hmm.
would say this building is orange in color, that board is orange in
Hmm.
color, that dress which was there lying, which is from that balcony, that was our orange in color. So the child would say
Hmm.
that tile, the roof tiles is
Hmm.
orange in color. So that
Hmm.
way. So like tell them to differentiate and then start with visual differentiation.
Hmm.
Show them two pictures and ask them what is missing in this is. And
Oh,
sequencing is something they lack. Okay, so show them the sequence, like then what this thing, what next what
okay.
comes.
For example,
Yeah,
if I
so
keep one square, then two square, then what next? Three squares.
that is pattern completion. That is
Okay.
pattern completion. So you have one
Hmm.
square. So square, circle, square, circle. So what comes
Hmm.
next? So in
Okay.
sequencing, you can tell them. You can tell them. So now you make come. Let's make a sandwich.
Hmm.
Sandwich. So what do you first do? First take the plate. Take a piece. Take
Hmm.
a slice of bread. Then
Bread.
and spread the jam.
Which one
Then
do you
take another
prefer,
slice of
white
bread.
bread or brown bread?
And I prefer brown bread. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, something which is like gluten
Hmm.
free, right? So there are gluten free
Yeah.
breads. Yeah,
Hmm.
you can teach them sequence right from the home environment itself. It can start and
Yeah.
give them two colors of right from the kitchen itself. You will find items. Okay, give them two colors of dal and tell them to separate it. Okay, so that will
Nice. That would be
No,
really,
seriously, I'm
for
telling.
autistic people, that would be a very, likable task for them to do, because they
Ah,
want,
no, even
yeah.
with ADHD kids also, to increase their attention span, mix three
Hmm.
colors of dal and tell them to separate it. Tell them, you don't tell them like, you do this. They don't like
Yeah,
to,
give
some
them as a
kids who
challenge
are,
or, like a
if it is a
game.
task, right? If it is a
Yeah.
task, right? You tell them, okay, can you please, I accidentally got to mix up all this. Can you please help me sort it out? Okay, oh wow, you have done this. So this is your
Yeah, yeah,
reward for today.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that is how you motivate them to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So
Right,
you
yeah.
have to be
So
a
like
bit
give them color
playful.
balls.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. With the fingers itself, you can do stick 5 colors in the
Hmm.
fingertips. Ask them to touch like pink color with blue color
Hmm.
or like this.
Hmm.
These are all sensory things
Yeah, yeah.
you can try. Yeah.
Be a child
And
with your
making
child.
them draw lazy eight, that is the sleeping eight, and that will
I
help with them
see.
hand and eye coordination
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
whiteboard or on a paper,
Huh.
and ask them to move their eyeball as they trace is, and sticking some toothpicks like a maze and asking them to trace in between the toothpicks and all, right? So
Okay.
these are some activities. You don't even have to go buy any book or any materials for this, because these are readily available at home, so you can
Hmm.
easily create an activity with that itself. Yeah. Right.
I see.
So those, like, make a numbers, buy plastic numbers, and then like miss out few numbers to ask them what is missing here, which is the missing number,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
comes next. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
change the colors and tell me, okay, so now two reds, now blue, then what comes after this? Yes,
Hmm.
all this. So you can give all these sensory activities. Is like shaving foam spray, right? Right, that
Shaving,
one.
okay.
Yeah, with the shaving foam.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
one. And ask them to use finger paint, that is on paper. Tell them to dip the
Okay.
fingers in the paint.
Hmm.
Ask them to paint. These are all very nice sensory activities you can do with kids. Kids,
Hmm.
yeah, in a very it's not only a child need not be autistic to do this, but even
Yeah, yeah.
with a normal kid, these sensory activities are very essential, because when you learn through sensory, okay, so the information is learned in a very better way.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I liked this part of this interview, Tina, the home
Yeah,
activities for childs, right?
yeah.
So, guys, if
Actually,
you're a
with
parent,
intellectual
hmm,
disabilities,
hmm,
like they won't know to connect the grapheme of the letter with the phoneme. Eh,
what, repeat
okay,
that again?
the sound of the letter with the letter itself, right?
I
The grapheme
see.
of the letter,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
is the phoneme of the letter with
Uh-huh. Yeah,
the
yeah.
letter. Okay,
Yeah.
so for that you can use clay activities. You can ask them to make. You can give them the sounds and then ask them to make that particular letter, and then ask them to repeat it. So they will remember. Okay, this letter looks like this. It sounds like a that way.
I see. I
Okay.
see.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
these are some of the activities. Clay, with using
Hmm.
clay, you can do all
So
these.
basically, we're using visuals, catchy visuals to make them
Yes,
memorize.
visuals and like auditory
Hmm.
and all this, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
you can use auditory, this one,
Yeah, yeah. All right,
stimuli,
Tina.
all this.
Yeah, yeah. That was a very informative and very insightful session on autism and ADHD. I don't think many people. I think people would have gained a lot of information from this, because
I hope
nobody
so.
actually
Yeah.
talks about it, and nobody actually wants to read about such topics, unless they have to deal with it. So I think,
True. That's true. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a
So,
lot of information on the web. There's a
mhm.
lot. Okay, but I don't know how much of it have reached the audience as such.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's there. Yeah. And thank you. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Hope the session was good and it was useful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I am pretty sure that this session was very useful, and it's going to be more useful, as more and more people watch it. So, right, Tina. So, hopefully, we'll have
Yeah.
you again on this channel,
Sure. Yeah.
with
With a pleasure. Yeah.
we'll have a detailed maybe video on ADHD then, because in this particular
Huh.
video we covered a lot of autism, right?
Yeah. True.
So,
Yes.
right, so we can have a detailed video on ADHD and how to
Mm.
diagnose that, and how
Sure.
to specifically we'll talk on ADHD, right? So,
Yeah. We can do that. Yeah.
mhm.
So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the session. Hopefully you got some useful information from our session. And we couldn't cover ADHD because the session would have been really long, and so we'll invite her again and we'll talk on ADHD, and then we'll talk on schizophrenia and bipolarism. So we'll invite many new people, guys. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe it. If you're already a viewer of this channel, share this video with your friends and colleagues and many more people, because I personally think that these things have to be talked with a lot of people, right? So with that said, guys, let us know in the comments below your experiences with autistic individuals, if you have any in your life, or if you are autistic or have ADHD. And with that said, guys, I'll see you guys in our next videos. Till then, do well.